Good morning, y'all. It's Dom Griffin again, back out here. Wanted to talk about another main thing that I see newer players get wrong, or people who are still trying to get good at throwing, and it's all about that plant foot, right? Obviously, both feet are planting, but your front foot has to be planted in a way where it helps your hips be loaded when you land here, right? So when you're coming out of your drive, your front foot has to be pointing a direction that's conducive to or makes sense to your hips to be pointing away from the target, right? You don't want to plant open at all, right? Because what it does is it opens those hips up. And as we know, you can't have your hips open when you plant if you want to get all your power into the shot. It's going to create a lot of bad throws. Like I'll see people who even plant like this and they get really good power, and it makes me think, like, man, imagine if you were actually planting the correct way. For me, I actually, a lot of times you'll notice I'm slightly away from it. I'm not here very often. I think a shorter shot, or if I'm trying to go for a little turn, you might see me plant like this. But normally, if I'm going for my little hyzer flip, which is most shots, I'm going to be planting like this so that my hips are away from the target, pointing this way. Because if you look, the direction the foot is pointing is the direction that the hips are naturally going to point, right? If I go here, my hips are now open, right? So like maybe this half is trying to be backwards and this half's trying, and you can see how this is a very, like, I'm almost losing my balance. It's a very unathletic position to be in. So it's very hard to control your posture and everything that you need to control. Like, not even thinking about the hips not being involved, but it's hard to control your posture when you're standing this way, right? So you want to be more here where your legs are more closed, I guess you could say, because here it's more open, right? So you have to be at least flat, but a little bit inside of that is, I think, best. But flat should be good too, because from flat, when you plant flat, your hips can still rotate back. When it's here and they try and rotate back, if you try it at home or wherever you are, it'll feel really weird to your body to try it. It's not gonna help you get through the shot how you want to at all, right? So just think about it as it's pointing straight or it's pointing a little bit back. And like I said, that'll make it so that when you come into this throw, your hips aren't opening early. Because you can do everything right in your walk-up, come here, and then do that, and now you're going to be way off, right? If you've watched good disc golf, you know that's not how you want to be planting when you throw. Maybe for big turn, not really. Like, it's just pretty much like, don't do that, you know what I mean? Maybe for a standstill, you're trying to hit a certain angle, but planting this way, anything, it's just not conducive to your hips being pointing or being pointed in the right direction when you land to throw. So go ahead and apply that. Try a few times. It's going to be weird at first because it just feels different if you're not already doing that. And some people may ask, okay, if I'm planting with my foot this way, how am I making sure my throw's not going that way? Like, I'm going to open up early. And that makes sense. But what you really got to train yourself to do is when you're coming to this spot here from your drive, when you come into it, your hips and everything are turning together, and where you reach back has to be in line with your shoulder, or maybe a little inside or a little outside, right? You want it to be able to come, and if your hips are involved in the motion, it should still get to where you want it to, right? It shouldn't be going that way unless you're reaching back here and making it go that way, or something else is going on. I'm not sure what other reasons there would be for that, but yeah, yep, that's how it works.